And I was like, ooh, this is it. But at the same time, I was nervous. I was like, what are they going to think of me? How will I do? I have to make sure not to do anything and not to get fired. I need the money. So, in today's video, I will be talking to you about my first civil engineering internship. I'll be taking you through some of the projects that I worked on, things that I liked, disliked, and lessons learned throughout the internship. If you're new here, my name is Dem. I am an entry-level civil engineer, and as from this video, I have about 10 months of working experience. But on this channel, I talk to you about my civil engineering journey, starting from when I was in school all the way to right now. And without any further wait, let's just get into the video. Alright, so my first internship of college happened in the summer of 2018. This was when I was transitioning from sophomore to junior year of college. I remember my first day, I was super excited because my professional career in civil engineering was about to take off. And I was like, ooh, this is it. But at the same time, I was nervous. I was like, what are they going to think of me? How will I do? I have to make sure not to do anything and not to get fired. I need the money. Typical thoughts of a student. And actually, the thumbnail is this picture right here. This picture here is summer of 2018. It's the first day of my internship. So everyone at orientation had the opportunity to take a picture in the director's office. So that was me smiling from ear to ear. But yeah, this has been a constant reminder of when I started. I haven't framed it yet, but it's in a safe place, so yeah. So I worked in the Office of Technical Services at the agency. And so my title was Technical Services Intern, which translates basically into someone who finds information. Where I worked was like the data analytics side of the agency. And so a lot of the times, consultants, firms will contact the agency because we were like a central hub for information. So a lot of people were contacting us to give them data on something. And a lot of the times, those requests will come through us where I'll have to go and dig into the software, the database to find what they're requesting, package that, give it to someone, and then someone else sends that off. So that's what I did. So as you can tell, since I'm trying to find information, data, and send it off, I was sitting in front of a computer all day, every day, most of the time. I was dealing with programs like Microsoft Access, Excel, and Outlook in order to send off the emails that I needed. So a lot of it was very redundant on my end. I did not like it. I did not like that part of it so much, where I had to just do the same thing over and over again. Like, I mean, the first couple of weeks you're excited, you're learning something new, but once you get into it, you really start to get bored out of your mind. Mixing and matching was always nice, but where I worked, I didn't have a lot to do because they had the resources, they had the people to be doing all these things. So I was just there to help when needed. So sometimes there were days where, we'll just sit around and do nothing for some time because we didn't have work. So even though some days were very boring, they were very repetitive, there were some of those days that you want to really get out of bed and start working on a project. For example, one of the projects that I worked on at the agency, they were installing electric charging stations in a particular location around a certain city. And so my supervisor asked me to find the benefits of having those and also having electric vehicles attached to that. And so I dug deep quite a bit, and it's quite interesting what goes into having these stations and having electric vehicles in your area. And so not only that did I find the information, package it, and give it to him, I also traveled to where these electric charging stations were to be. And it was kind of interesting to tour the area. It was very scenic. To me, those sort of things were interesting to see, just to go out into the field, go out and see what people do. And we had a lot of opportunities for those, which was really cool to see how all that data that I'm collecting, putting together, how that's going to be used and how that will influence the decisions and projects to come. So did I enjoy the experience overall? Yes, I did. Not only was it valuable in adding another line to my resume, but also it helped me make career decisions on whether to stay or to leave civil engineering altogether. But I decided to stay because I really enjoyed the experience. Also, I worked a regular 9 to 5 job. There was no overtime, nothing like that, which is very different than the internships that I had the next summer, which we will talk about sometime later. So as a takeaway from this video, I will be giving you some realities of being a first-time intern and the lessons learned from this first internship that I had. So one of the realities of being a first-time intern is you will not be busy 100% of the times. Yes, there will be days when you're trying to get your breath, but there will be days when things are just so slow that you have nothing to do. And it will be you to decide what you want to do in that time. You can sit down on your phone and go through the different social medias that you have, or you can research something interesting or learn something new. It's really all dependent on you. So don't go in there thinking that you're going to carry the entire world on your shoulders and everybody will be depending on you for every single thing and you'll be 100% busy from 9 to 5. No. You'll have downtimes and it's up to you to decide what you want to do with it. Another reality is you do not need to know everything. I think for me, when I started my first internships and the next ones, I was always wondering like, oh, how much calculus will I use? How much chemistry? How much physics? Do I need to know this formula? Things like that. Some of those things are taken and just shoved in a closet and kept. What they do is they take you as you are and then they teach you what you need to know in order to apply it into your job. Some of the things that you learn in school, you will not use once you graduate. What they want you to do is to be someone who can show up every single day and say, I am willing to learn. I am willing to put in the effort. That's what they want to see in an intern. There's a long list of things that I learned while I was an intern. But the one thing that I would tell you is to learn how to cultivate your own presentation style. When I was in college, I ran away so much from presenting. I was so focused on figuring out a way that I could escape presenting than actually focusing on how I could get better at presenting. And this realization came when I was at the end of my 3-month internship and I was asked to do a presentation alongside other interns. And I was looking up at the sky, looking up at the ceiling, looking up at the exit, and trying to find and weasel my way out and not having that eye contact with people and having them enjoy the presentation the way I want them to. But instead I was focused on other things. So just making up your mind to sit down and take the time to cultivate that skill. It will take a while and it will take a lot of errors and a lot of embarrassing moments. At least you're doing that in school. And by the time you graduate, you'll become more confident when it's time to stand in front of a crowd and present your ideas. Alright, so we've arrived at the end of this video where I talked to you about my first summer internship as a civil engineering student. I've taken you through the times that I was bored to the times when I was really excited. And next time what we'll talk about will be my second internship that happened in the private sector and was a total 360 of what I experienced in the government side. And so with that, I will see you next time.